Welcome to the rEVolution podcast. Really excited for today's episode. We have Justin from rEVorigins, an EV lifestyle apparel brand with premium designs, premium products. Really looking forward to learning more about their work and thoughts on the EV industry. But before we get into that, I want to do a quick reminder on EV charging station incentives. As you know, we are advocates for the EV industry, including charging station infrastructure, and want to make sure listeners are up to date on incentives for charging stations in the US. So there's an IRS tax credit for EV charging stations that was reenacted at the end of 2019. That applies to stations installed in 2019 and through the end of 2020. That's IRS Section 30C. And for a single family home, it covers 30% of costs up to $1,000. And businesses can actually qualify for 30% up to $30,000 per property. As always, consult your tax professional, but please consider installing EV charging stations at your home and business. And be sure to check out any incentives ranging from federal, state, local, and we're starting to see more utility companies launching EV charging incentives as well. So please consider installing EV charging stations and, of course, look for any incentives that could help make that a little bit more cost effective. Now I'd like to welcome our guest, Justin from rEVorigins. Justin, welcome to the rEVolution podcast. Thanks so much for talking with us and really excited to have you on the show.
Yeah, good morning, Travis. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate the invite.
Of course. Really looking forward to it. So maybe to start, if you could give us an overview of rEVorigins, maybe just tell us a little bit about the company and kind of go from there.
Okay. So at rEVorigins.com, we offer lifestyle apparel for the EV enthusiasts. So that includes T-shirts, hats. We've got some stickers on there, men's, women's T-shirts, long sleeve shirts, you name it. But we kind of saw it as an opportunity, big time EV fan, and saw a little bit of a gap in the market there. We noticed that Tesla had some offerings within their shop, but they didn't change a whole lot. And we figured the EV movement is bigger than just one brand and wanted to offer something that, a lot of different EV owners could wear and wear proudly. So that's kind of where we got our start.
Yeah, I like that. And I agree that there's definitely a gap in that space. So certainly doing your work to fill that. And if I'm not mistaken, are you a veteran-owned company too?
Yeah, I'm active duty Coast Guard. I kind of do this on the side for fun. I noticed so I'm from Florida originally, and if into fishing and hunting stuff. And if you notice, there's a lot of different lifestyle brands out there. People probably heard of Salt Life and some of these others. And the more I followed EV culture and kind of where things were going with EVs, I realized that people that buy EVs and drive EVs, it's more than just a car, right? It truly is kind of a lifestyle thing that you get used to, and you tell your friends and you tell your family that they need to buy one, and it's a bigger deal. So really wanted to create a brand that was kind of more of a lifestyle type brand. And, anybody can go and get T-shirts printed up. We tried to be very selective about the materials that we use and the responsible nature in which those clothes are made. And we think we've come up with a great product. It's really cool to launch something like this and see people embrace it and post pictures, wearing the gear, and it's really kind of a proud moment when you see that, and it makes you feel like you're helping to spread the message.
Yeah, I can imagine that's rewarding, especially checking out your Instagram page. Being able to see people actually use the products is pretty cool too. So I'm sure that's rewarding. So how long have you been an EV driver?
So I got a Model 3 back in June of 2018. I reserved it online about 15 minutes before it was unveiled. I'd been a Tesla fan for a long time, and I knew the car wasn't going to suck, right? And so I
Yeah.
put the deposit down, and then it was 2 years, 2 months, and 2 days by the time I was able to take delivery of it up in Richmond, Virginia at the time. So ever since then, yeah, I've been a fan. I even went, I think it was the end of the third quarter of, I think it was 18, because I had just bought the car, and they were asking for owners to help do deliveries, and went up on a Saturday and helped deliver cars at the dealership. So it was kind of a cool opportunity.
That's cool. Yeah, so definitely an early adopter of Tesla, which is awesome. What color is yours?
It's blue. Yeah, it's blue. I had it lowered a little bit. Unfortunately, the California roads aren't very kind, and
Yeah.
I had to I had to get rid of my unplugged performance moderate springs and go back to stock. But I love the ride. I mean, the thing would handle on rails, and it was awesome. But I'll get back there one day.
Yeah, someday soon, hopefully. So, okay. What got you interested in EVs in the first place?
I think just the technology really. I'm an engineer by education, and I think just the practicality of it all. And I was stationed in Seattle a few years back, and Seattle was one of those areas that had a lot of early adopters with the Model S, and so I would see them around quite a bit. And I think the more you see them, the more you realize the practicality of the technology, and even just moving from Virginia out here to California this past summer, people joke that out here in California, the Tesla is as common as a Camry, so they call it the California Camry. But
Yes. Yeah.
and I think as that continues to spread, we'll just see more and more of them. I think the upside is huge.
Absolutely. The growth is going to be significant, and I think over these next 10 years, so like the 2030 2020 through 2030 period should be very exciting to see what comes out, I think.
Yeah, it's really neat to see during the Super Bowl just the number of ads, where people were promoting their latest electric vehicle, and for a company like Tesla to still not do any formal advertising like that, I think the growth opportunity is just huge.
It was cool to see the commercials though. Especially I was kind of surprised by the electric Hummer, to be honest. I was kind of surprised that they launched that in, during the Super Bowl is when they officially released at least a teaser of it. But that was kind of surprising to see.
I've been a fan of GMC for quite a while now, and the opportunity presented itself. It was very organic. It's rare that you have a vehicle that's this big, that's this powerful, be this quiet. We can get from 0 to 60 in 3 seconds. That's extreme. That's nuts. Zero limits. Zero compromises.
Yeah, I think the whole electric truck thing is going to be interesting, and especially how they educate people on the trade-offs between range and then your range when you're towing something. I think that's going to be a big shock to some people, but yeah, I'm excited to see where that goes. That's really the next big step I think in the market is the trucks and SUVs.
Sedans, small cars are great to see, but it seems like the growth industry, the bulk of the profit margins, et cetera, in the US, definitely those crossover SUVs, medium-sized SUVs and trucks. So I think for EV adoption really to take off in a meaningful way, those vehicles are going to be critical for that. So hopefully many more to come over the next few years.
Yeah, I think the education piece is key too, right? There's a couple of people that I work with that are asking questions. They're interested about their next car being an EV. One guy's got a down payment or the deposit on a Cybertruck, and he's pretty excited about that. But I think that people just don't understand, what it takes and what some of the advantages are of having an EV. The charging infrastructure is the big one. And just understanding the vast nature of the Tesla supercharger network compared to reliance on third party chargers that you often don't know the status of. I think that's a pretty big advantage for Tesla. But just educating people on the importance of the charging infrastructure and what it takes to be able to charge at home, and what you can expect for range. I think that's kind of the next step, is that there needs to be more education from the manufacturers, right? You see the Super Bowl commercials, and it's all about, what the car looks like and maybe some performance numbers. I think people just don't understand. It's pretty cool to come home from work and just plug your car in and never have to go to a gas station,
Yeah, exactly. It's a huge transition, when you look at the fact that upwards of 80% of all charging is done at home, right? So where
Yeah.
is the vehicle? Where's the dwell time of the vehicle? It's typically at home. So there's much less of a situation where you need to make a trip to fill the tank, for lack of a better term. It's wherever the car is, you plug it in, and when you're ready to go, it's charged again. So it's definitely a mindset shift and a huge benefit to EV ownership, I think, that is sometimes missed.
Yeah, there's a guy I work with that just leased a Bolt, and he stopped me the other day, and he said, "Hey, you've got a Tesla, right?" Like, yeah. He goes, "Does it take you a long time to charge at home? Because I'm trying to charge off of 110, and it just takes forever." And I thought, it's interesting that he would be at the point where he was leasing the vehicle, and no one had explained to him, the efficiency of charging at the higher voltage, and the reduced time involved with that. So I think the education piece is important, and hopefully the other car manufacturers can get there too. I think there's been not a whole lot of focus when people go to the dealerships and want to know more about the EVs. I think they're just designed to push, the ICE vehicles, and that's where most of their education lies.
Yeah, we definitely see that quite a bit, where it's a consumer awareness gap is the first challenge there. But then ultimately, if they are interested or potentially interested, are they being fully educated throughout the sales process, which is kind of a hit or miss process as well. So I think, again, as more EVs come to market, there's more awareness, hopefully better incentives to sell them from the dealerships, and hopefully all of that will help things take off. So I think we're still pretty early stages, even though we hear a lot about the growth story of Tesla. I think they said pretty recently they're expected to sell comfortably 500,000 vehicles in 2020 is the most recent number I saw from Tesla, which is a lot of cars. It's a lot of vehicles, but still early stages in the market, which is good. There's time. So
Well, I think that's kind of
an
what
exciting
built some
time.
of the. Sorry, I think it built some of the community too, where we see that gap in education, and we try to educate our friends, our neighbors, our coworkers. When I got the car early on, I would go to the Virginia Beach Cars and Coffee events, and our local Tesla service technician, our field tech, would actually arrange meetups for Tesla owners ahead of time. So we would drive in together, and we'd have 5 or 6 Teslas at this event, and it was really cool to just see people that were lifelong gearheads that were just blown away by the technology, and they're like, "Man, this is awesome! My next car is going to be an electric car. These are incredible." And it's hard to argue with the instant torque too, right?
It is. Yeah, they're definitely fun to drive, and I guess just like any other car too, like the sale really happens from the test drive, right? So if you can get people at like a Cars and Coffee or Ride and Drive where they can see the vehicle, touch it, drive it, I think they're sold pretty quickly, at least on the fact that EVs are here and that
Yeah.
they should seriously consider it when they're looking to buy another vehicle. Definitely important. So,
Yeah.
and we touched on it a little bit there, but I think you'll probably have some unique insight into the electric vehicle community. So obviously a great group of people, even helping to deliver Teslas, for example, just as volunteers to help make sure that new drivers understand them, all these kinds of things. So I'd be interested to hear some of your thoughts on the EV community and what your thoughts are around that.
Yeah, I mean, I think right now, it's it's really growing quickly, and I think that the people that are involved in it are passionate, and saw that early on. I mean, just the willingness of people to give their time and help deliver vehicles, at a for-profit company. I mean, that tells you something, right? I can't imagine that happening with any other type of car manufacturer or dealer, and the excitement that people have on their faces when they take receipt of their car. I was there for, gosh, I guess about 6 hours, and I think I helped deliver 4 cars in that time. And it was just, I mean, and it was one after the next, but I spent as much time with the people as they wanted it to get comfortable with their car. And I think that day, that dealership delivered like 28 cars in total on a Saturday, which is just crazy, compared to what other dealers do. But just the excitement that people had, the vibe around the dealership, it was a really cool experience. And I think that's indicative of how the community is. People are excited to talk about the cars and to share their information. And it's really cool to see it grow.
That's definitely some unique insight. And I think we're definitely moving in the right direction there. Switching gears a little bit, what's your favorite EV Origins product that you offer right now?
I'd probably say, our Plugs Not Drugs shirt, because it was really one of our first designs. And it's kind of funny because we had a pug, and my wife actually volunteers with the pug rescue here in LA. And someone got her a shirt that said "Pugs Not Drugs," and I was looking at it one day and I was like, "Hey, plugs not drugs." And so
Nice.
that's kind of where that idea came up, and it seemed to be pretty popular. I wore it to the Drive Electric event out here in LA, and people were like, "Oh, that's a great shirt." We sold a bunch after that event as well. So that's probably my favorite, but because it was really one of our first. But I really like the Electric as Fuck T-shirt too. I think that's been a popular one and a little bit more edgy. Yeah, probably those two.
I'm trying to think of the most popular one I see online. I think they're all pretty popular. I mean, they all seem to be shared quite a bit, which is cool. So, are you working on any new designs or anything new that's not too top secret that you might be able to share?
Actually, one of the things that we're working on right now is a partnership with the Electrified Garage, and hopefully most of your listeners have heard of them. But everyone probably knows Rich Rebuilds, right? The guy that
Yes,
that
yeah,
does all the Tesla
definitely.
rebuilds and stuff. So we had reached out to them, and I really wanted to buy a T-shirt, and love to support those guys and EV West and Electric GT. And if you don't follow those guys, check them out on Instagram and Facebook. But I reached out and wanted to buy a T-shirt, and they said, "Actually, we don't have T-shirts." And I said, "Well, maybe I can help you." And so, looking at under the EV Origins label, producing T-shirts, hats, stickers, that kind of stuff for them. So really excited to get that off the ground here in the next couple of weeks and helping those guys out. Obviously, they want to focus on fixing electric vehicles, and I think I can help them with some of the brand awareness and merchandise.
That's a cool idea. I like how you're kind of connecting that where you have the design, the apparel side, the awareness around that, and you're able to go to other people in the industry and offer that as well, right? So that's actually pretty cool. So you can help grow their following and also still help grow EV Origins at the same time. That's a cool idea.
Yeah, I told him I really think it's a great partnership, and it's not hard to do. It's hard to do well to push the merchandise and have a quality product. So I think I can help them out. I think they'll like what we're able to do for them, and hopefully all your listeners go out and buy some gear to help support what they're doing. I think they've really helped to push the EV community as well.
Yeah, they really have. I've enjoyed following them, especially on social media, obviously. To your point, it's not that easy with apparel. So like even if you look at, if you try and search EV apparel right now, there's just not a lot of options out there. And most are not what I would call like a premium type product, definitely not a premium design. So I think there's some value in having that experience and being able to push that into other areas of the EV community. So leveraging your expertise in that, I think will go a long way and help the industry. So that's good to
Yeah,
hear.
and that said, we're always looking for new ideas. So if somebody's out there's got an idea and they want to pitch it to us, we're happy to listen. We love feedback from the community, and yeah, any great ideas, send them our way.
Awesome. So listeners, if you have any cool ideas, definitely check out the designs that are there right now. But if you have any cool ideas, send them his way, and maybe they'll consider that. So one more thing on maybe the community itself. Do you find that have you gotten any feedback that when your customers are wearing the apparel, the hats, the t-shirts, do other people come up to them and ask about it? I'm just interested to hear if you've heard any feedback, or even yourself. Obviously, I'm sure you wear it as well. I'd be interested to hear what people's impressions are in the public.
Yeah, I think it depends on where you are. So when I was in Virginia, not a whole lot, but going to the Drive Electric event out here in LA, which is probably one of the biggest Drive Electric events, I think, in the US. Just a ton of people there. Yeah, I had on Plugs Not Drugs shirt. My wife had on another shirt, and people were stopping us and asking, "Oh, where'd you get that shirt?" And taking pictures, and we saw a lot of. We did some product donations too for a raffle that they did, and just to get the brand awareness out there, and saw a pretty
cool
increase in website traffic out of that, and so. That's really the best way. We haven't put a huge investment into marketing. It's really been, people seeing the product on Instagram or out in public, and that's really kind of what we're after. We want people to be proud of the products and proud of the EV lifestyle, and show it off like that.
Definitely word of mouth, community growth. I think it's a pretty tight knit community, so why not grow it that way? And I think it will continue. So that's good. Where can people find you? So our listeners, if they're looking for EV Origins products, I'm sure you have a website. Obviously, I follow you on Instagram, but where are the best places for them to find you if they want to check you out?
You can check out the website, EVorigins.com. You can check out our Instagram and Facebook with the same name. And really, the website's the best place to go right from the get-go. And like I said, within a few weeks, we should have the electrified garage gear up. They'll have a link on their site also that goes back to a landing page on our site. So you can be able to pick up their gear, go in that direction also.
Awesome. I think you guys have, at least you did at one point, do you still have the, it's like a newsletter? I forget what you guys call it. Do you still keep that going as well?
We do. If you go to the website and you sign up for our newsletter there, you'll get on our distribution, and you'll be the first to know about new products and discounts, that kind of thing. So sign up, get on our mailing list, and we'll be making sure to have you as the first to know.
That's good. Yeah, I remember seeing that on there and wanted to make sure that was still something you're doing. So that's good. So definitely recommend checking out EV Origins. Justin, thanks again for spending some time with us today. It was really good to learn about the company and some of your insights into the EV industry.
Yeah, thanks, Travis. Appreciate you asking me to be on here, and yeah, really excited to see where things go in the EV community in the next couple of years. And again, thanks for the opportunity to plug the brand also.
Yeah, absolutely. Always happy to help grow awareness around the industry and the advocates in the industry, which you certainly are. So thanks again. Listeners, hope you enjoyed the discussion. Definitely check out EV Origins when you have a few minutes on social media. Get signed up on the website so you can be in the know as they release different products. And thanks for listening.